Hello and welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Saturday. It is the weekly energy card reading. I am super casual today. I honestly don't remember the last time that I've worn rings, and I really miss wearing my rings. But I hope everyone is well. I know the current events of things, we're starting to get into the thick of a lot of very, very crucial world events, and I do hope that everyone is staying well and staying happy. I know these times are very difficult. There's a lot of psychological changes going on, and so even though we are all having really long days and probably feeling pretty bored or just feeling the effects of everything that's going on, I wanted to definitely go ahead and keep up with our weekly energy readings, because of course nothing brings me more joy than to throw cards. So like normal, what this is that this is a card reading that's going to just get the general energies of the next 7 days. So it would be from April 4th to the 11th. It does not have to be the second week in April for you to glean information from it. If you feel drawn to this card reading at any time, please feel free to watch it because it might contain messages that pertain to you. Also, if you ever want to jump straight to your reading, the timestamps are always listed in the description box below. And we'll go ahead and get started. Now, I had been promising you guys forever that we were going to do charms. So today is the day. Today is the day we're going to make it happen. Today, right now. And what it is we have my lovely charm bowl. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give you the choice of 3 tarot decks. You go ahead and choose the deck that you were drawn to. Maybe you like the artwork or the stones, whichever one you were drawn to. One thing that I am doing kind of different this week is that I am putting the stones on top in the freeze frame picture when you go to choose your deck. I just thought that might be helpful. It seems like I have a very busy pattern for my backdrop. Also, if you feel like the backdrop is distracting, please let me know. I definitely appreciate that feedback. Also, in the next coming week, I am going to be changing up my sound quality. I did get some feedback about that, which I appreciate, and what we're gonna try something a little bit different to make the sound a lot more clearer. And I hope that improves and makes it easier to watch the video. But that said, we'll go ahead and let you choose your deck. After I do your spread, I'm going to pull charms, and so that's always a really fun thing. That'll be exciting for this week. And I'll stop blabbing, and I'll go ahead and let you choose your deck. Please choose from your intuition. If you need more time, please pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. Now, I'm really excited. I'm using decks I haven't used in a while, but all 3 of these are really favorite decks. They're like my tried and true decks, other than Jane Austen. So the first deck, we've got the green stone, which is really beautiful. I use this in a lot of my D&D reads. But I'm honestly not sure what type of stone that is. I think I've asked that before. If anybody knows the type of stone, please let me know. But and with it is the oh my gosh, why am I drawing up the Spacious tarot? I'm sorry guys, I'm spacing. It's been a long week. The Spacious tarot, and and also all of the names and the authors of the materials I use are in the description box below. So deck number 1, let's get started. What is the energy for your week? Deck number 1. What's the energy? Ooh, I love the salamanders. All right, we'll get into it. And then the middle of the week. Okay, we keep wanting to get like 3. The middle of the week is action-packed. And the end of the week. I'll go ahead and release. Wow, guys. Okay. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to throw your charms just so we can get it started, and then we'll read them at the end. Oh, Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Oh, I'm definitely getting some energy there. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Deck number 1, the Spacious Tarot, which I love this deck. I use it personally all the time, even though you might not see it on the channel. But now, in the beginning of the week, you got the Explorer of Wands. And the Explorer of Wands, which is a little bit of a tongue twister, is the Knight of Wands. And I think it's so adorable in this deck because all of the wands are magic wands, and all of the court for the fire suit is salamanders. And I think this guy's adorable. But in the beginning of the week, you are going to be feeling like you are on fire. And you're just going to feel really energetic. You're going to be going towards something. I really get a feeling that at the beginning of the week, you have some kind of project that you're working on. There's just something that's really got you jazzed. And knights are the ones who go on missions, right? I always associate it to the young adult energy. You know, you're not mature like a king or a queen, but you are outgoing. And definitely the wand suit is probably the most energetic. So definitely at the beginning of the week, you have some kind of mission. You're coming, I'm thinking of a horse coming out of the starting gate. Like you are ready to run. You're ready for this challenge. And you see how serious this little salamander looks too, right? So you have some kind of project on the table, and it's almost like the beginning of the week, you've been let out of the gate. Like you're ready to go. You're ready to get this done, getting it done. So I'm definitely getting a really strong energy around that. Now, by the middle of the week, wow, guys, you see all of the warm colors in this? You got the 6 of Wands. So whatever project you started, you are getting some straight up victory, right? You're getting victory. But underneath it, you kind of see the 3 cards kind of lead into each other. It's kind of like the root of something, and then it grew into this, and then it culminated with the victory. So you got strength, and then underneath it, you got the 10 of Pentacles. So I'm getting a very strong family vibe. I'm getting this could be some kind of success in a work venture, like something going on at work that really required a lot of effort, required a lot of energy. You really tackled it, and you did it. The other thing is that you did it in this is the up and coming kind of energy. This is not a king or a queen. And it's not to say that anything's coming across as immature. The knights are kind of that nice middle ground. They're not a page, so they're not juvenile, but they're not kings or queens either. Like you're not officially crowned, but you really tackled a project. And then by the middle of the week, you really are going to feel like a victory in this realm. But I do see that it took a lot of strength, and I am kind of seeing like it might have taken. You might have had some kind of support from a family. To be honest, I'm getting a real strong work vibe from this. I feel like maybe you had a team or like a group of people that support each other like a family. And again, with the strength card, it's kind of like got the cactus. It's like being resilient. It's like feeding yourself when the you retain water. Cactuses retain water. It's almost like they preserve themselves even in environments that are really grueling, right? I think that you, either in your family, like maybe your family's supporting you, or I'm getting a real strong work vibe. I really am, just with the victory. I do think that there's some kind of team effort or some area that you feel familial support, like you feel like you're a team, you feel like you're a family. And it's not, Pentacles can be money, but most of the time it's what you value. I just think that you share the same values as a group, and you're supported. You see how strong this tree is, and you see how it's like roots. You got roots here. And it gave you that strength in order to be victorious. So I do think that you have a lot of youthful energy that you applied to this project, but the reason that you are victorious is because of the and again, this being the root, it's like your support system. It's like you were victorious because of your support system, and you really did. You had to walk through the desert to get this victory, right? It was hard won, right? It was hard won. The other thing is that I do kind of feel like, and also with strength, you know, I know it's silly. I always think of, if you've ever seen the Disney movie Mallon, when the father looks at Mallon and says, you know, the rose, the flower that blooms in adversity is the most beautiful and resilient of all. That's the phrase I'm hearing in my head. It's almost like you got that victory by rolling with the punches, and you were probably, well, I'm not getting too much flexibility. I think you withstood the storm. You ran into the storm, right? And you stood your ground, and you had a good support system. And again, this could be family as well. Maybe it's something going on, you know, maybe you have the support of your family during this tough time. I am really getting kind of the landscape as being, you know, what's going on in the world right now. And then by the end of the week, you got the moon, and that's such a lovely card. I actually had a tarot on the moon not too long ago, and this was one of the cards I used for that reading. It's available under my playlist if you ever want to watch it. But by the end of the week, you got some major arcana, guys. You got some major arcana. You got the moon, and then next, underneath the moon, you got the world, and you got the Elder of Pentacles, which is the King of Pentacles, guys. And can I just say, if you look up the regular Rider-Waite-Smith, the King of Pentacles is the person who's sitting, you know, when you look at the 10 of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles is the dude who's sitting in that picture. It's just like it's like an elder, retired version of him, right? So I definitely think by the end of the week, I almost feel kind of like a surreal feeling. It's almost like you start the week with this real outgoing energy, and by the end of the week, you're feeling like a king, right? But with the moon is a lot of kind of churning subconscious emotion. So I think by the end of the week, all of this energy, you know, your strength and how you got to this victory, you're really going to be mulling over it in your mind. But the other thing is, you see how these are circles? These are both circles. You are going to be completing a cycle. And I know this is a lot of heavy energy for just 1 week, but the thing is, when you see a major card in a weekly reading, I always say it doesn't mean that this energy just came about in 7 days. Not at all. What it means is that this energy has been building. These events have been a long time coming, but you're going to be feeling the energy of this event at the end of the week. Like, it's been happening the entire time, but the impression, the actual feeling, it's like when you've been going to school and you've been doing the work and you know you're going to graduate, right? But then you actually get your graduation announcements, or you ordered your cap and gown and it comes in the mail. It's like that moment, like, oh God, it's here, it's happening, like this is now, right? That's the premise when you see a major arcana in a weekly spread. And you have 3 majors here, by the way. In the middle you got strength, and at the end of the week you got the world, which is the last card of the majors. So you're completing a cycle. You're completing a cycle. And it's really beautiful. You have the astrological signs in each of the corners. You have the Scorpio, Aquarius, that's the Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus. But what's happening here is, by the end of the week, you're almost going to be going into yourself. You're going to feel a little bit. You're going to feel a little bit kind of like all is night, right? The moon is an illusionary card. It's almost being kind of surreal. That is the vibe I'm getting, is that by the end of the week, you're going to be feeling like the King of Pentacles. Like you're going to actually feel like you're the king, right? It's nice to be the king. And you're going to have everything that you value. But you're going to be completing a cycle. There's something going on this week. This victory is really playing into some kind of completion in your life. You're going to be wrapping up an old cycle. And what I'm getting is that you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. Like you're going to be in the position that you want to be in. But it's almost like, you know what I'm getting is that I'm almost getting that you almost don't know what to do with it. I definitely know that feeling going back to the school scenario. I went to school, I paid my way through college, and I went 8 years at night. And when it finally came to graduate, it did feel surreal. It's almost like, okay, what do I do now? That's what I'm getting, guys. There we go. Ding, ding, ding. What do I do now? Or it just feels surreal. Like you're coming to the end of the cycle and you definitely are feeling the energy that you want. Like the other thing is I'm feeling like you're really kind of prosperous. I'm wondering if this victory kind of involved some kind of fiscal reward where you're feeling well off, you're feeling established. But it's making you feel a little uneasy, you know? Maybe you're not used to feeling independent this way, or you know how it is that sometimes when you get so used to a certain pattern in life, when that way of life is gone, you get it does feel a little uneasy. It makes you feel a little unnerved, like, well, what do I do now, right? What do I do now? But those are going to be your feelings at the end of the week. And I am really noticing all the purples and the greens. That really is kind of a chakra kind of color too. You go through the green, the blue, and then right up to the purple. So it does feel like a graduation. But again, I just think that you're going to be kind of feeling a little bit lost. It's almost like, okay, I've completed this cycle. You're going to feel a little bit adrift after. You're going to be in a great place. And you really will have completed the cycle, but it is going to just kind of churn up some, you know how it's a little bit bittersweet when things end. But you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing the quote, every ending is some other beginning's end. Every beginning is some other beginning's end. So that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. You're ending one thing to start another, and you're feeling a little bit drifted by it. Now, to get into your charms, what I thought was so great is that you got the red horse, and the red horse I always associate with being the Knight of Wands. And look at that, guys, you got the Knight of Wands at the beginning of the week. Now, the thing is, you see that the horse fell in kind of this downward position. So it is almost like, if you can see that, okay, it's like you're jumping downward. But again, I'm kind of getting like that as being like you jumping into the fray, you're jumping into it. Now, you got one of my favorite charms, and this is the shark. There's a really great video here on YouTube that talks about why sharks have never survived captivity. Like there's been several attempts to keep them at zoos or aquariums, and they've just never survived long. And what I see when I see the shark is I kind of see the just keep swimming. You know, just keep swimming. They have to be free. Like the moment you capture a shark, it's funny, the story, if you get a chance to watch the video, every single time the shark was captured, the moment it was let out into the wild again, the shark died shortly afterwards. I think this is kind of the energy, and not to be morbid, but it is kind of a just keep swimming energy, but it really does kind of tell me that you are a free spirit, and maybe you're afraid to stop swimming, right? We talked about cards, about feeling like this ending is strange or foreign to you. And maybe you're afraid that now that you've made it, maybe now that you've made it, you're afraid of not being able to go back to that youthful energy. Maybe that's what you're afraid of. But the other charm she got is you got the wishes, which I love. It's a little jar full of glitter. It will focus. I'm sorry, I know the lighting's a bit rough. But you got a little jar that says wishes. And the wishes, it showed in the tray upside down. So you know what that tells me is it tells me that I really get the feeling like you've wanted to be the King of Pentacles. It's like that's what you've been striving for. And again, you know, like when I was relating to school, you know, when I was in school, I was just like, I want my degree, I want my degree. And then the moment you get it, then you're just kind of like, again, I'm getting a real strong, what do I do now kind of feeling. And then you also got the key, which means breakthrough. It means like sudden wisdom. It's almost like an epiphany. And the key is also upside down. So I really do think that I think it's telling you that the answers, like the reason that you're feeling so adrift is within you. Like there's something that you kind of need to unlock. You need to unlock the answer within yourself. Like, why do you feel this way? I do kind of feel like you might need to kind of turn within a little bit, maybe do a little hermiting. Now, you also got the rubber ducky. And the rubber ducky was also upside down, but, you know, I'm not trying to read too many in verse, but I do kind of read that as just kind of being like, you do kind of got to let loose. Maybe the answer to this is going back, you know, kind of not regressing, but maybe just kind of turning to the young side of yourself. I do also think that you need some R&R. I think that with all this energy, all this work that you've been doing, that you really haven't had time for a bath or anything leisurely. But yeah, I do. I also, I know it's so silly, but I always think of the Sesame Street song with Ernie, you know, the bath time song, the rubber ducky, you're the one. I think you need a little bit of that. I think you really do need a little bit of, you've been very up in your head and you've had a lot of accomplishment, but what you need to do is you really just kind of need to give some relaxation time to yourself. And the last charm that you got is you got the piñata. And again, yeah, the piñata is about, it's about exerting yourself and getting the reward. There you go, the reward of your work. The other thing is that I always see it as a fun exertion, right? Like all the kids are having fun, you know, breaking open the piñata. And here I do, again, I'm getting that strong energy. Like you enjoy the chase, you enjoy the fun. If you turn into this King of Pentacles, are you going to still have the same fun that you had before? I am almost getting a feeling like you're kind of torn whether or not you want to go to the next level of something, but you are definitely there. You're there. You're graduating, right? You're there, and you're just not quite sure how you feel about it. And there might be, you know, by the end of the week, you might be really soul searching or going into your past a little bit to kind of discern why you're feeling that way. All right, guys. Well, that was a real powerful read. So that was deck number 1. I'm going to go ahead and put your charms out front, you know. Okay, so deck number 2. We got my Morgan Greer. Oh my gosh. I haven't pulled this deck out in a while, and see, it's already trying to talk to me. It loves to talk to me. This is the deck that I formally learned tarot on, so. And with it, I have my lapis lazuli, your lapis lazuli, I should say. All right, so deck number 2, can you see? What energies are you going to have this week? So you see this is sticking out. Middle of the week, please. Whoa. Oh, that King of Pentacles. He was in the last deck. Oh, wow. The moon's really trying to pop out, too. That was in the last deck. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take it. And let's get your charms. If this gets a little bit loud, please turn down the volume, but I'll try not to wow, interesting. Wow, interesting. Okay, no problem. So guys, at the beginning of the week, you're going to be pretty busy at the beginning of the week. In the beginning of the week, you got the 10 of Wands. And you can see, I really love this depiction. You see the guy carrying the 10 wands, and he's pretty tired, right? So by the beginning of the week, you're going to have a lot on your plate. You're going to have a lot to do. Maybe that's with home, maybe that's with work. I know that with what's going on in the world, even if you're at home, it's been a lot of work, right? No one questions, anyone who stays at home with the family, because it's a lot of exertion. There's always a lot of laundry, a lot of chores, a lot of groceries to unpack, a lot of dishes to be washed. But the beginning of the week, you're just going to feel really, really weighed down. You're going to be really, really weighed down, and you're going to be a little bit on the brink of exhaustion. So the first couple days, I usually see it as, I kind of look at the 10 of Wands as being that, wading through your emails on a Monday after you had the Friday off or something like that. So, but I also am getting a strong version from this card that I am getting kind of a physical exhaustion. Again, with everything that's happening in the world, if you really do want to take good physical care of yourself, if you need to sleep more, or drink more water, or if you are working from home, make sure that you take breaks. It's very, very important to kind of keep that work-life separation, because otherwise, even if it's psychological, I notice that too, that sometimes, when you don't take that break, or you start merging the two worlds and not really caring for yourself, then a lot of times what you're feeling emotionally or what you're feeling psychologically can manifest physically. Like you'll start having aches and pains, or you'll start having, some part of your body will start to hurt real bad. So it does kind of caution that at the beginning of the week, try to have a pressure valve, try to definitely do some self-care when you can. Now, by the middle of the week, you got the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles is such a lovely card. You can be a woman watching this reading and be in the Pentacles energy, but basically it's someone who's very good with the practical side of things. What might be happening is maybe either at work or home, maybe you're creating systems that people need to use. Either that, or maybe you're balancing things that that are of value, meaning that you're really kind of overwhelmed with things that you have to do because the wands are action. But by the middle of the week, you're really going to be in a steady place. The King of Wands is very practical. The other thing is that he doesn't let anything ruffle his feathers. So even though he has all of this, so many irons in the fire, even though he seems overwhelmed with all the things he has to do, he really keeps a calm demeanor. Like he knocks things out one at a time. And he's also the person that everyone turns to. Like he doesn't lose his head in a crisis. So that's going to be your energy by the middle of the week. And again, you can be a woman exuding this energy. It just means that people are really going to turn to you for sound advice, and you're really going to know what you're doing, right? You see how he has that rod and that staff in his hand, and he's holding onto that pentacle, and he's just like, nothing is ruffling me, right? Nothing is going to shake me, right? So he really does. I get the feeling like you're going to be someone to lean on. By the middle of the week, you're going to be someone to lean on. I also get the sense that you're going to be the person who really knows what to do. Like you're going to be the rock in the storm is what I'm hearing. Now, by the end of the week and going into the weekend, I do think that you're going to need, you're going to be in the Four of Swords energy. And you see that that's really the kind of rest and repose. I am getting a vibe as if whatever all these activities, everything that's on your plate, it's, of course, I get the sense that it's not going to be completely gone by the end of the week. But what it is that anything that you can't get knocked out, anything that you can't finish or, accomplish, You are going to slowly and steadily get it done, but by the end of the week, there's going to be a few tasks that it's one of those things where, if you've ever had one of those days at work, and I've definitely had them too, where you plug away and plug away and plug away, and then there's what I call the stragglers, right? There's something that didn't get done, someone who didn't get called back, or, some kind of task that didn't get completed. And it kind of weighs on your mind, right? You want to worry about it. You want to think, okay, why didn't I get that done before the clocking out on Friday? But here it's really kind of telling me that, the Four of Swords means that try to put it out of your head over the weekend. And I know that's really hard to do. And again, with the work-home separation, if you are working at home, try to keep work at work and try to keep home at home. And I know that's easier said than done. It's really difficult, but it makes a world of difference for your own physical and psychological health. But what it tells me is that the Four of Swords always means that this problem will be there when you get back, right? That's one of the main themes. And when we get into the swords, we'll talk about that with the How to Tarot. But it does mean that your rest is really important. It is really, really important that you recharge yourself. And you can have you can put it on your agenda, put it on your calendar to get back to on Monday. But try not to worry about it too much over the weekend. Kind of all right, let me think about it, then I'll say it. Compartmentalize. Yeah, compartmentalize what's going on. Keep it where it goes. And the interesting thing is that anytime the Four of Swords comes up for me in a read, what I love about that card is anytime, it's kind of like the universe's way of saying, don't worry about it. Again, it'll be there. And it's funny, when I don't worry about it, what I couldn't solve on Friday always solves itself automatically on Monday. So, I always think about it too, and I know this is a strange analogy, but have you ever seen the birds that keep flying into the glass of the sliding glass door? They think that they can get through, right? And they're just ramming themselves up against glass, And it's the universe's way of saying, don't ram yourself up against glass. You can beat yourself up trying to get something done, and sometimes it just won't happen in that day. But then, you step back, breathe, rest, put it in the back of your mind. You'll get back to it next week. Then when you get back to it, it's amazing how really quickly it just kind of resolves itself. Like it works itself out without you killing yourself over it, right? So by the end of the week, it really is telling you to do that. Whatever tasks you haven't knocked out, let them sit and marinate. Let them sit and marinate, and you'd be surprised how tender they are on Monday, right? Not to relate that to cooking, I know. Now, the overall energy underneath your week is you got the Hierophant, you got the Knight, you got the Six of Cups. So, gosh, guys, I really do think what's happening is that you have a lot on your plate, and there's a little bit of a status quo that you have to live up to right now. Like, really, I'm getting kind of like you need to follow the system. And that might be this Ten of Rods and this King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is a very businessman type of energy. So I really do feel like you're doing your job, you're doing what you have to do, and you're staying very steady with it. But by following the rules and by following what you need to, it is making you very anxious. It is giving you a lot of anxiety. Again, the other thing is that this being right under the King of Pentacles, I think you're keeping up a very strong face. And again, it might be also what's happening in the world. Half of this burden might be, extra duties that normally would not be happening if we were not dealing with a global, virus that's very scary and displacing everyone. But I do think that underneath the surface, I do also think that by following the rules or doing what you're supposed to, that there's this underlying current of feeling anxious. You're keeping up a strong face, but at night, I also get at night that you might have moments of feeling really, really up in your head. The other thing is with the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords, that's a real controlled kind of energy. You are controlling your thoughts. You're rising above your thoughts, but it is a little bit the first Cups card that I'm seeing is this one. So, you know what I'm seeing is that with the Six of Cups, you have to do your duty right now. You're doing your duty and you're doing it right. But underneath the surface, I really do think that there's some kind of nostalgia, or there's some kind of happy thoughts that you're returning to. This could be a person. I really do think it's something in your past that you're playing over and over again in your head, and it's keeping you level. It's keeping you level. But what it is that just like all of us, I do think that you're keeping a calm face on the surface, but underneath the surface, you might be really fighting some anxiety, or you might be feeling really out of sorts, unnerved by what's going on. You're doing what you have to do and what's expected of you, but you are feeling the pressure, you are upset by it, but I think you're leveling yourself out with some kind of happy memory. And this could be of a person, it could be of childhood. Maybe you're doing activities that you did when you were a child, and that's helping to calm you, to level you out. Like, I know a lot of people are, doing video games, or maybe you're doing activities that you did as a child and it's really making a difference. Either that, or you're thinking of someone, or returning to happy memories in your mind in order to help you calm and keep calm and level. Now, to get into your charms, you got quite a few interesting ones here. First off, you got the elephant, and he is upside down. Now, the elephant, oh my gosh, the elephant has so many interpretations, but I actually watched a reading recently that talked about how the interpretation of the elephant was about how he calmly pushes through everything, right? The elephant does those plodding steps, and he's wise. He's a very smart thinker. And I am thinking, what I'm seeing is that I really do think the elephant reinforces this Nine of Swords and King of Pentacles. You're just plodding through everything, right? You're taking the steps, you're doing your due diligence, right? And you're taking the steps that you need to take, but it doesn't feel real comfortable to you, right? You are wishing that it would go a little faster, or again, you're kind of fighting against the weight of it. Now, the other one you got the rooster. Now, the rooster, I think of two things. First off, it's a chicken. So the other thing that you might be dealing with is, again, the chicken, when I see the chicken, I kind of think pick a little, talk a little. There might be a lot of talking going around you. The other thing is the rooster is the head dog, right? He rules the roost, so to speak. So the other thing that I get from that is that it's possible that you might need to rein in a lot of really talkative people. Either that, or the other thing that what I'm getting from this is that with all this extra work, and again, with everything that's going on in the world, maybe you have a lot of people that you need to manage, and it's hard when everyone's talking and everyone's worried and everyone's catastrophizing. You almost have to be a little bit tougher. You do have to be that King of Pentacles leader energy to keep everyone in check and to make sure that everyone's not talking in a bad way. The other thing is you got the dog, and the dog is wonderful. I really do get a sense that you're being very loyal. You're either really loyal to someone with the Six of Cups, because again, this can be the memory of someone from your past. And the King of Pentacles is a very when the King of Pentacles loves, he really, really loves. The other thing it could be is that you might have a friend around you, because the other thing that I got was the dog was right up against the tambourine. And the tambourine is one of my newer charms, and I love this. I actually showed this in the Who's Talking About You video, but I love it because the tambourine I take about as being, I see it as being like, you know, I know it's so silly. If you've ever watched the 60s TV show, The Monkees, you know how Davy Jones was like the cutest one and he was just always playing the tambourine? Everybody else was playing like, you know, what they refer to as a legit instrument, like, you know, playing the piano, playing the guitar, playing the drums. But I always see it as that the tambourine is a real vital one. It's considered not being the most important because it really is just kind of like, it's like the cowbell, right? It's not a major instrument, but it really does just kind of, it has such energy to it. So I get the sense that this friend, this person around you just brings energy to your life. Like they make you happy at moments when you need it, and they've been a really big blessing to you. The other thing that I think of is that there's a viral video going around about the people who are quarantined in Italy, and there's a woman, everyone's on their balconies playing accordions and singing, and the lady with the accordion is hanging out her window, and she's like pop pop pop, you know. And I'm getting that vibe. I do think that you have some kind of friend around you who just comes in at the right moment, right on cue, right on beat, right? and brings you up when you're feeling low, because you have a lot of responsibility on your plate. Now, the last thing you got is you got a door. You got this is the little fairy door. And the thing with this is that there's a magnet, and the magnet is picking up on the number 9. If you see this, isn't this neat? And the number 9 is the completion. It's the end of a cycle. And in your reading, you do have the number 9 with the 9 of Swords. And you see how the colors are very similar? I think what's happening, I think what it's telling me is that you can walk through this door. You see how it was magnetized right there. You can walk through this door. You're coming up on the conclusion of a cycle. You can always walk through the door at any time, but I do think that your fears or your anxiety is kind of holding you back. Again, the number 9, and you see how it even has a crown on top of it. It's almost like you have to put those swords down. You have to get past that anxiety in order to walk through the door, right? And walking through that door might be to this happy memory. It might be, the 6 of Cups can sometimes be returning to someone. But again, I do just think that it's kind of like conquering your fears. I am getting that. But I do feel like you're being a very strong person, like you're being a leader, and people are able to rely on you. But definitely, manage your anxiety, stay in those happy thoughts. The other thing is that this friend, this loyal dog with the tambourine, this might be someone from your past that, again, these might be memories that you turn to keep happy. That person's playing the tambourine to your one, I'm also hearing one-man band, right? So maybe if you reach out to that person, or if you just lean on those happy thoughts, but definitely, again, leave the worry at work and, make some time for yourself. All right, guys, so that's deck number 2. Go ahead, put your charms. Try to put them the way I found them. All right, so last but not least, we've got deck number 3, which is the Tarot of the Southwest Sacred Tribes. And my friend actually tumbled this stone. It's one of my favorites. I think it's carnelian. And all right, so deck number 3, what's the energy for your week? Deck number 3, what's the energy for deck number 3's week? Ooh. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, I'm noting the cards that flipped. And then for the middle of the week, thank you. And the end of the week. Wow, I'm going to go ahead and I'll take all four. Wow, I think our common denominator card this week is the King of Coins. I think he's come out in every single deck. Ooh. Nine of Wands. Wow. There's this deck also really likes to speak to me. I love the images in it. All right, so let's go ahead and get your charms. There you go. Oh, my jade ring wanted to come out. Remember how earlier I was talking about I missed my rings? Okay, here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wear my ring. The jade ring came out, so I'm going to wear it. It feels nice and cool. It's funny, my hands get real warmed up when I'm reading charms. They're cold any other time. Wow, guys. Oh, you got some beauty. All right, we're going to get into it. Oh my God, synchronicity alert. Okay, all right. Let's do this. All right, guys, so at the beginning of the week, you got the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is a very prosperous card. You see that this person is turning and looking at all their cups. So I think at the beginning of the week, you're definitely going to feel kind of blessed. The vibe that I'm getting from this card with the way that this person's kind of looking at all the cups, I just feel like you're going to kind of have all of your emotional ducks in a row. Not to sound funny, but I do feel like that, with the world events going on, I think you really just have everything in place. You're going to be feeling kind of emotionally well off, like you're going to feel blessed and honestly kind of affluent. I always say that, the Ten of Cups is kind of that happiness money can't buy. And the Nine of Cups is really when you get some kind of, I always think of it like a birthday present. It's some kind of blessing. So at the beginning of the week, I do feel like either with your circumstances or maybe someone actually gives you some kind of gift or some kind of surprise, you're just going to feel really well off. Right? But I kind of get the feeling like you just have everything in its place. You have everything emotionally sorted and you're feeling content with that, right? I'm going to go with it. The emotional ducks in a row is the feeling I'm getting. Now, by the middle of the week, you got two major arcanas, and that is crazy awesome. But you got the Hanged Man and you got the Star. And wow, guys, so by the middle of the week, what's going to happen is, again, I feel like you're in a good place emotionally. You're feeling very blessed. You're feeling like you have enough, like you have more than enough. And everything in your life is the way that you want it to be. It's almost like, I always kind of look at this as well as like, maybe, all of your relationships, everything that makes you feel emotionally fulfilled is in a good place. Maybe you've been checking in with your mom, checking in with your best friend, posting on Facebook, getting good, a lot of likes. Maybe you've been keeping up with posting on YouTube. You haven't missed any of your tarot readings. So you're keeping everything in stride. And by the middle of the week, it's almost like you're gonna kind of lean on your head and look at your situation, right? And again, this could be based on what's going on in the world. Every week that passes, we're gonna hear more about the actual numbers. We're gonna hear more about things that we need to do and ways that we need to adapt, right? I think most of us are pretty much on board at this point, right? I always giggle. I laugh because how they say it's statistically proven that it takes 3 weeks to break a habit. And my thing was, I laughed because I saw this meme that said apparently my favorite hobbies are eating out at restaurants, visiting non-essential businesses and touching my face. And it's kind of the same thing with this. It's, you know, after I really loved going to my favorite coffee place every morning and getting my cup of coffee. And now, you know, the first week it was the end of the world when I couldn't do that. And then by the second week I was still really feeling it. But by the third week you get used to it, and you get used to the new normal. So here, I think that you are still adapting to the new normal. I think you are in that headspace. You know, by the middle of the week, you're going to be kind of feeling like, okay, this is how things are now. You know, beginning of the week, I'm actually in a good place emotionally. I'm managing. And by the middle of the week, I think you're just going to be looking at the situation from a new perspective. Again, the Hanged Man, you know, it's not a comfortable situation, but something about this predicament is really opening your mind. It's letting you envision a new future. The other kind of energy I get from it is that, you know, with all that's going on, you know, many times we look at it like it's a bad thing, and yes, it is. It's a traumatic thing. I'm sad that it's happening. I wouldn't wish illness on anyone. You know, we want everyone to be happy, and we want to do everything in our power to make sure everyone stays safe. But this happening in our lifetime is going to change the dynamic of how we live. Even after this is over, things are going to be different. We are going to be impacted by what has happened. So here, I really do feel like by the middle of the week, you're kind of taking the long view. Like you're starting to look into the future as to, okay, when all of this is over, what good can happen? What can come out of this? What good can come out of a situation like this? Like, what can we do differently? How are things going to be when this is over? And that is very major arcana kind of energy. Like I said in the other pile, I think it was pile number 1, and it's true. When you see major arcana in a weekly reading, it doesn't mean that some kind of cataclysmic event in your life is happening all of a sudden this week. It just means that this has been coming, you know, these energies have been building almost like a storm, like, you know, a high and low pressure. And you are coming to these conclusions now, right? You are in this place now. So by the middle of the week, you really are going to be looking at what you've been going through and where you're at. And you're going to be looking at the future. And I have a feeling you're going to be seeing it in a much brighter light. Like the star is hope, right? And the other thing is the star comes out of after the tower. And we did how to tarot on the tower and on the star. If you want to ever watch those readings, they are under my playlist here on my channel. But the star is the most hopeful card in the deck. It really does. It means that, you know, the woman is naked and pouring water, and it is that card of the peace that comes after the storm. You are naked because everything that you owned was blown away in the storm, right? But there's a freedom to be had with that too. It's almost like when we shuck all of our habits, you know, and have you noticed, you know, with everyone going to the grocery store and cooking for themselves, you know, yes, it does feel like the dirge, but I know I can speak personally. I'm learning how to cook. I'm learning how to make meals last longer. I'm trying new things. Tomorrow I'm going to be trying a really great, there's this mixture that you can mix. You can mix instant coffee with sugar and water, and it becomes this really frothy foam that's called, I think it's called Malgona. It's a video I found here on YouTube. And you can put it on top of milk, and it's like coffee. It's like thick coffee. So what it's saying here, and again, I'm sorry not to get off on a tangent, but what I'm seeing here is that you're embracing that change, right? You're looking at a bad situation from a new angle, and you're saying, wow, what can I learn from this? What good can be gleaned from this? And it's actually very bright. It's almost like you're getting epiphanies, you're getting enlightenment based on, you know, what's going on around you, and it's giving you a brighter glimpse of the future. Now, by the end of the week, you got kind of an interesting spread here. We got the Knight of Coins, we got the King of Coins, and he has shown up in all 3 decks, and he's going to be our common denominator card for this week. And above it, you got the 4 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. So again, I really do think, I get this feeling like this could be you and another person. Again, you could be a woman watching this reading and be in the King of Coins energy. I really kind of get the feeling like you're the Knight of Coins, but what you're doing is you're very slowly gathering. The coin can be money, but most of the time it means what you value, right? And the knights, they go on missions. They go and they achieve things. They go after what they want. So I do kind of get the feeling like by the end of the week, and the fact that it starts with the knight, goes into the king, there might be a little bit of a feudal energy here. I do get the feeling like this is your timeline, right? This is your timeline. And what it's telling me is that you've really gone out into the world to do. By the end of the week, you're really going to be taking this new epiphany, this new vision of the future, and trying to make it real. But I do get the sense that, you know how when you're planning out something, sometimes you'll look at it and think, well, there's a potential for success, but there's a potential for failure too, right? How many times have you had kind of a brilliant idea or been real gung-ho about something and then it just fizzled or didn't pan out? But one thing I am going to do is I am going to get a little bit of clarification. Oh, thank you. Wow, guys, okay. I'm going to have to flat out say it. I suspected that. Yeah, I definitely get the feeling that this might be a little bit, this is a little bit of partying energy. And, no harm, no foul. We're in the middle of an epidemic. Social interaction is very, very sparse. But maybe you're texting this person. But I do kind of get the feeling like, the other thing that I can kind of sense then is that you might be in a group situation. You got the 3 of Cups next to the 10 of Swords. You might be feeling like, the other vibe that I'm getting is, I definitely feel like you're kind of in your own world. Again, the Hangman and the Star are 2 of the most beautiful cards that you can get. But it's almost like you're in your own zone. You're in your own universe. You're dreaming big dreams. And by the end of the week, you feel like you're trying to make those dreams real, right? And you're doing a really good job of it. By the end of the week, you're really going to feel like you have a solid start. You're going to kind of feel like the King of Pentacles, who again they're a very steady person. The King of Pentacles is the person you turn to for support, right? Either that or the King of Pentacles can be someone in your life. I am kind of getting the feeling like you're the knight, like you're out in the world trying to make these dreams real. And maybe you have someone out, you have a male figure around you that has the same kind of, he's almost like an example. I am kind of getting a mentor vibe. Maybe you are trying to emulate, you're trying to be like a mentor character or a father-like character. But you've got big dreams and you're working hard. You're taking slow steps to make those dreams real. The other vibe that I am kind of thinking, and I've got to throw this out here, is that a lot of this higher thoughts, this is very exciting energy. And here we see the Knight of Coins, someone who's on a mission, and he reports to the King of Coins, which can be a mentor or a father figure. Then you have the 4 of Wands, which is kind of a victory. It's a milestone. You might actually receive some kind of compliment, but what I'm getting from this is that your hard work is really going to prop someone up. Like maybe you make your boss look real good with all of your hard work. These visionary ideas that you're having, you're going to be doing the work to make it happen. And by doing that work, it's almost like you're bringing that pinnacle You're bringing the pentacle to the king, right? You're giving the pentacle. You see how he's standing at attention? Like, here, I went on this quest. I've brought you this pentacle. And the king's like, thank you for the pentacle, right? And here it is going to make this person look really good, right? It's going to make this person look really good. They're going to ascend to a higher, this is like a graduation. It's almost like, again, it's freedom. But I am getting a sense that, the Ten of Swords is kind of feeling a little stabbed in the back. And then you've got the Three of Cups next to it. By the end of the week, and this isn't to make anybody afraid, this is just kind of how I'm reading it. Your hard work might have really contributed to some kind of cause, and it might have, been a great victory, and it might have, brought everyone up to a higher level of accomplishment, but it really kind of made one person, it made this person look like they did it on their own. And it might be making you feel a little stabbed in the back, or at least a little overlooked. Because maybe this king is, celebrating, going, look, we did this, we got the pentacle, look, we got the pentacle, what an accomplishment. But you were the one who busted your ass to get the pentacle, right? And you're the one who had the vision of how to make this happen. So just be mindful of that. The other thing is that with swords, again, swords are the thoughts in your head. It doesn't necessarily mean it's real. But yeah, I do kind of get the feeling like you're just going to feel like somebody else is the center of attention. The other thing is that you kind of feel like this person is better or of a higher rank than you. And it is going to make you feel a little bit, because you were doing the work, you're going to feel like they kind of got all the glory. But, definitely try to pursue those thoughts. If that is something that's happening towards the end of the week, try to really analyze that and see if that's what's going on. That might be just your perception, because that's the other thing, the swords are perception. Now, if we go ahead and look at your charms, you got Falcor, the luck dragon. Oh my gosh, love this guy. He if you've ever seen the movie Neverending Story, I really do think, and again, with all of this really, the star, the star is like looking up at the sky and knowing that you're part of the universe, right? Now, I feel like Falcor, you're going to have luck in your endeavors. It's almost like luck is going to be on your side with these dreams and these aspirations. The other thing is that dragons are very they are fictional, but they're imaginary characters. And in the movie, he helped Arturo, I can't speak today. He helped him fly, right? So I do think that maybe, again, I think you're helping someone fly, or when your dreams need wings, those wings are going to come to you in a really mystical way. And what I was giggling about earlier is that there's magnets on the back of these little things, and the magnet says believe, and on it you got the star. You see that? You got the star charm, and you got the puzzle piece. So, and look guys, you got the star and you got the star card. So again, I think that you are having please trust your intuition, what's coming to you this week. Please listen to it, whatever epiphany. And the other thing is that I really get the feeling like these thoughts are going to feel like they're so celestial, like they're just going to feel like just the sky is the limit. I'm hearing pie in the sky. They're going to be pie in the sky thoughts. But please take them seriously. I do think that these dreams can manifest in reality. So that's where it's saying believe. The other thing is it's showing me a puzzle piece. So the thing that I also think with that is that, you know, sometimes when you have an idea and you think, oh, I can never accomplish that, something will appear in your life. Maybe it's a thought, or maybe it's a circumstance that, you know, believe that that missing puzzle piece, that means to an end, is going to manifest, because you've got a lot of luck on your side. I'm seeing nothing but really positive, lucky things here, where I really think that it will manifest in the real world. Now, you did get the frog upside down. You can see he's on his back. And the frog is about emotional cleansing, right? He's about cleansing. And the fact that you got the 9 of Cups, the fact that the frog is on its back, again, I think in the beginning of the week, you're going to be feeling really kind of emotionally level, like prosperous. But then I really do get the feeling like the frog on its back is going to be this 3 of Cups at the end of the week. Please take time to, if you are feeling any negative emotions, please be kind to yourself and take time to really cleanse. I know sometimes that even if you're busy, if you just go into the bathroom and kind of run warm water over your hands, which now is the perfect time to do that as much as you'd like. But either that, or take a hot bath, or take a shower. That kind of emotional, just do something that cleanses you emotionally if you are feeling kind of overlooked or anything like that. The other thing that I am kind of getting with this is that the 3 of Cups did kind of want to come out under the star. So maybe you do have some kind of epiphany, or maybe something that is said in a group, like maybe something your friends say, you know, when you're hanging out with your friends, someone might say something that really sparks your intuition and gets you thinking about a solution in a whole new way. You also got the number 1 upside down. So I really do think of the ones as being like the first house. It's like the first step. So again, you know, I do think that what this epiphany that you're having is kind of in its, right now it's still in your mind. You haven't made it real yet, but you are. You might feel like, you know, the other thing that I'm getting is that I'm getting kind of like you wanted your start with this, like this was your start. But you know, it's a little bit blocked. But just know, even if you're giving your ideas over to someone, it does feel like it's for the good of all. Like I do think that it's for the good of a group. You may not get individual credit for it, which might make you feel a little backstabbed, but just know, you know, just know that you contributed to a solution to something, and that's very appreciated, even if you're not seeing the recognition immediately. The other thing that I'm seeing is that you got the notepad, and I love that. The thing is, and it's also it was kind of near the frog. So maybe if you are feeling some kind of adverse emotions by the end of the week, if you journal, or if you just write it down. You know how they always say that if you're mad at someone, write down everything you want to say on a piece of paper and then burn it, or, you know, put it in an envelope and never mail it. You know, those kind of things are ways that you can kind of purge your emotions. And then the last thing that you got is you got the butterfly, but you got the butterfly upside down. So again, you know, with the 1 upside down and I do feel like you feel like this is a chance to transform, but it hasn't started yet, or maybe you just feel a little bit blocked. But again, you know, try to keep your emotions clear and try to analyze what's making you feel this way. You know, maybe journal or write it down. And but just know that your ideas, these ideas that you have towards the middle of the week, they really will serve the greater good. I do think they're really brilliant ideas. They're otherworldly. They're like higher level of consciousness kind of solutions. And you know, it may also be cautioning you a little bit. You know, I'm not saying keep your ideas to yourself, but you know, maybe if you do want this to be something that is your idea solely, you might want to be careful about who you share your ideas with. The other thing is it is kind of telling me that maybe, you know, you have this epiphany when you're in a group setting, when you're hanging out with others, and, you know, before you know it, you say it out loud and someone else gets wind of it. I don't think anybody would purposely try to take your idea, but I definitely see more than one person, and I do feel a little, you know, again, the Ten of Swords is feeling a little bit, you know, a little bit stabbed in the back, you know, not in a bad way. But again, analyze those feelings and see if that's really what's happening. It could be that maybe it was a joint idea, maybe it was something that you discussed in a group, and really more than one person has claim to that concept. But either way, guys, that's a really wonderful read. I think we're having a great week. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put all our kings on top and I'm going to put your charms. But I hope you enjoyed. I really loved pulling out the charms. I've missed them. We'll try to do those more often. Coming up in the next couple of days, we are going to be How to Taroting. What are we up to? Oh gosh, we saw the we are up to the Six of Wands, and we actually saw the Six of Wands in this first deck. And we did get the King of Pentacles. There we go. But yes, so by on Tuesday, if you want to stop back by, we're going to be How to Taroting on the Six of Wands. And I hope you have a great week. Please stay happy, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.